Good evening, everyone. Please, can someone hear me? Can someone hear me? Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good to have you in another session in the AI automation series. And I'm glad to announce to you that this week is our last week of this cohort. And we'll be wrapping it up. And I hope every one of us has learned one or two things. Please, I would like to give room for questions. If you have questions from the previous classes, please, you can ask your question now before we proceed. While I wait for engagement, let me quickly share my screen. If you have question, you can just unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay. I have a monitoring screen here with me. And I can see my screen is visible. So I hope you should be visible from our end too. All right. We created this in our last session. This is a typical chatbot that allows user to interact with it, and it's going to respond based on the information that we fed it in. But what we'll be doing is a little bit different from what we have here. We started this series I think 4 classes ago or 3 classes ago. Let me I think I should share. Let me share that page. Where are you? Okay. Now, where we started by discussing what an AI agent is. And I won't go into repeating everything I've said earlier. I will just make the point I wanted to make, and then we'll proceed from there. We said an AI agent is that system that has the ability to think by itself. So there is minimal or no human interference as regard to how we should think and what tasks we should perform. So for an agent, it possesses that capability based on the tools that we've given it to attain certain tasks. That's what an agent is. It's a system that can perform tasks, take decisions on its own. And we gave an example, but that's not where we're going. We talked about some component of a typical component of an AI agent. Of course, we said our AI must have a brain, which is typically a chat model. We work with a chat model in our last class. Please, if you have not watched that, please go and watch that. We worked with a chat model in our last class. So we also said the AI agent must have a memory. And the memory is how it keeps tracks of conversations. And then we also need to add some tools that it might need. I told us that the number fourth one is a little bit advanced. We will not be going into that in this class. So maybe in our intermediate class, if you are opportune to be there, you will learn about that. And I showed us this diagram. This is how an AI agent looks. We are familiar with triggers and nodes. This is an AI agent node. And you can see it requires three things here. One of them is a chat model, and it also requires a memory and a tool. So we'll see how to implement this today. And hopefully we'll finish in a short while, because the goal of this class is to dish out content that are bite size, that you will not struggle with to rewatch if you want to. Okay, so we are not just giving out too many information that will feel overwhelming. All right. Okay, that is that about that. So let's go back to our N8N workflow. This class will be pretty simple. If you understand what we did in our last class, you will not have problem with what you are going to do today. All right. So same thing, I will create a new execution, a new workflow. Similar to what we did in our last class, every workflow must begins with a trigger. Every workflow must begin with a trigger. So I will add my first step. And since I am building a chatbot, an AI agent chatbot, my trigger here is going to be on chat message. We did this one in our last class, so I'll just rush over it. So first thing I need to do here is to make my chat publicly available, and you will see a live URL that I can use. And this other initial message, this is where I will specify what the user should see. So I can say AI. Okay, I think let's say we were working with an example of a book. So we'll just proceed with that example so that everything will fall in place properly. So we just say welcome to the firm cook. So we say let's say I am the firm cook assistant. So we can say how can I help you today? So that's all I need to do from there. So I've successfully added my trigger here, which is on chat message. And if you click on open chat, it's giving you an option to enter a text. So if I enter, maybe I say hi, you see it has received the message, workflow executed successfully. And if you expand this, you see a session ID has been assigned, which means the message was received successfully. Please, the moment you stop understanding what I'm saying, just raise up your hand and I will give you room to ask your question. All right. So the next step we are adding, which is the topic for today, is our agent. Is our agent. This is our agent here. Now, I'm starting everything from scratch because I don't want us to get confused along the way. If you miss something, yeah, I feel like I should start again. Somebody has missed me somewhere. I say you should add first step, which is your trigger, and it's going to be on chat message right here. Then I turn this one on publicly, and I just edited this message. Just said hi. I am Cook Agents. How can I help you today? That's all we need. That's all we need from this place. So we've gotten this. Our next step is an agent, our AI agent. Agents. We had our AI agent. So our AI agent is asking us a few things. Remember when we worked with the chat model, AI model, I meant to say, N8N gave us free credit, but here is a little bit different. So first thing I need to do is to connect to chat to the trigger node. I connected to the trigger node. So I didn't need to do anything much here other than to add an option. And the option I want to add is a system option. So I add system option. Now, this is similar to what we did in the last class. You see, I'm making reference to the last class. So if you don't understand the last class, I will advise that you go back and watch that session and then come back here, watch this one also. In the system prompt, this is where I will be telling the agent what role, what that agent to assume. Remember, we also did, we talked about the component of our prompt, how to prompt our AI. Please go and rewatch the last session. We said our prompt must have a role, must have an action, a task, must have a context, must have, you can give it an example, If you have left or forgotten that class, please go and rewatch. Our AI must have a role. We must define a role for it. We must specify the task or the action. We must give it a context. We must set our constraint and also the output format. Okay. We assume you understand it because we've discussed about that in our last class. So I didn't do anything here because I wanted us to start from scratch. Okay, maybe I should share my full screen so that because I need to switch between. Let me just share my entire screen now. All right. Okay. So I need a system prompt that my agent can use to do what I'm requesting of it. So I don't want to generate the message. I want to show you something you can do or how you can maneuver your way around it. So I want to explain my issue to and my chat to help me with the system prompt. Okay. So first of all, I need to assign the role. We say you are an it and expert. So I've given it a role. Okay. And let me say, and knows how to build an it and agent. So this is one. So I want to specify the action. The action is the action I want to give is based on what I am doing or based on what I'm trying to do is that if you write a system, and it's on a agent system prompt system prompt for my chatbot, chatbot, let me say agent chatbot, agent chatbot to respond, respond to user queries regarding my business. Okay, I've specified the tags. Now the context I want to add is I can say I run a okay, let's say I am um, let's say I own a cooking company or cooking firm called the firm Cook and I want to create a AI chatbot that can answer users' queries on behalf or on behalf of business of the firm Cook is located in, let's say, maybe Lagos, Africa. The time zone is GMT +1. Well, these are just additional details that I'm adding. So this is why I try to do everything from scratch so that you have a glimpse of how it's been done. So I specified my context. Then I want to set constraint. And in constraint, we're still going to be following what we did on the last time, except for a few changes that will be implemented today. All right. So I would say maybe let's start constraint. Let's say the system prompts should should be should be divided into five to sub headings such as, let's say, uh, uh, let's say business. Let's separate it. Let's say maybe business context, business context. Let's say products, um, prices, and prices. Let's say maybe stores slash location. Let's say maybe uh, uh, let's say what else can we say? Let's do. We've covered for prices. Okay, let's cover our availability. Let's cover availability. Availability. Okay. that is, let's say maybe working days, or let's say maybe open days. Okay, we say business is open from Monday to, let's say maybe Friday, since we are working with high school students only. So the only will cover for that. Anything outside that will not be allowed. We say availability time. We can say maybe 6 a.m. to to maybe 8 p.m. Let's say maybe 10 p.m. 10 p.m. daily. Site. Okay, that one should cover for the weekend. This only should cover for weekend. So let's say this is just what we are working with. Let's say this is just what we are working with. Let's add contact. Let's add contact. Contacts can be, let's say, telephone is 08012345678 9. And let's say maybe email. Let's say the firm cook at mail.com. So let's just work with that. Okay, let's set up some constraints. Let's set constraint. Say we say, let's say we need food for high school high schools only. Okay, let's just see what ChatGPT is going to give us. Okay. If we can't finish this class, we will proceed in the next one. So this is what it gives us. This is our business. You are an NI agent representing this, a professional cook service based in Lagos, Nigeria. So you are giving us the time zone. So your role is to respond clearly and politely, you see, using accurate business information. So you can take time and read these informations, and you see, it's even adding something for me here that encourage user to contact via phone and this. All right, be polite, ask following question, the student number, type and all. Okay, so let me just work with this. Let's work with that. So I'll just copy this because I have short time. So, but you get the check. So I will just go back to my, stop sharing this, and I will share my Anything workspace. stopping in few minutes. So I'll paste that into this place. So usually the system prompt is very lengthy because you want to tell it everything about your business, what you do, what you don't do, because user eventually will be asking questions based on that. So you see, giving it a bunch of information here. Work with. Uh, just trying to do some cleanup. Now, even if you don't remove the number, it doesn't matter. You still get the desired output. Feel like I'm doing too much. I hope you guys understand. So this is the entire system prompt. This is the entire system prompt. It's even saying don't provide false information. Okay. Maybe I can add something here. The current date is. Let me try to see if I can add date here. I say dollar now. Say maybe dot format. I hope I'm not doing too much. Okay, maybe I should remove it. Do we add that so that will not confuse somebody else? So this is my prompt right here. This is all I need to do here. So I've done my part. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add a chat model. This is how it will respond. I will add chat model. We did this one last time. Chat model. We are still using the free keys. And okay. So this is the model it's going to use. Let's switch between 4. So another thing is the memory. The memory is how it keeps track of the conversation. And NHL provides us with a beginner-friendly memory that we can use, which is a simple memory. And that's what we're using here. So we just pick that. And the only thing I need to change is the context window. And you can see it's saying how many past interactions the model receives as context. So we can add this one, maybe let's say 10. What it means is how many interactions do you want the user to remember at a go? Just like in terms of context, and there's no way our user can be chatting and within 10 prompts they've not gotten the answer. So that's what we are just doing there. That's just all you have to do here. You connect it to trigger. So we can test this. Let's execute this workflow and see what we have. Say hi. So you see, it's now responding. Say hello, welcome to the firm cook. How can I assist you? You assist your school with, say, uh, let's just ask some question. I don't know. Let's say, what are your days of availability? So just ask that. So you see, it's able to pull out the days of our availability on time. All right, sorry for that break in transmission. You can see it's able to pick our days of availability. So if you want you to schedule an appointment, you can also make that happen. You can also make that. You can also make that happen. But maybe we'll reserve that for the next class because I'm already out of time. You can just pretty much ask it question from the system prompt that was generated. Okay. Uh, let's say, do you work? Okay, let's say I want you to let's say book you your for service for an event on Saturday. So let's see if he's going to answer us. He said, thank you for your interest. You see, but unfortunately, we operate only from Monday to Friday, and we are closed on Saturdays. If you have any need for a weekend, we'll be happy to assist. Please let us know. See, is even if he's unable to provide what I want, he still wouldn't let me go. He's trying to hold me back. This is what we call a hook. This is what we call a hook. There is no work on Saturday, and it's not allowing me to go. So maybe let's say, uh, how I contact you to discuss, let's say, discuss further. All right. So see, I'm just asking a generic question. You see, it also pull up our contact info, and it's also saying for urgent requests, you should do that by email. We'll be happy to discuss the need to help you. All right, so this is where I will be cutting it off. So maybe in our next class, I don't want the class to be unnecessarily lengthy. I think with a few minutes to spend, you can rewatch that over and over again. So maybe one of the things we can add is we'll add a calendar that if they want a meeting with us, the system should ask for the availability when they are able or when they want that meeting to happen, and the system will help us book an appointment. So let's leave it this way. In our next class, we'll work with the tool where we'll be adding calendars, and it will even help us collect leads and know if our customers are really into business with us, or they just want to come and go. So I don't know if you have any question. I will just give you 1 minute to ask, and if not, we'll call it a session and we'll complete this on Friday. I think Friday should be our next class. And on Friday, I will also tell us about the project. This is our last week for this training. It's been 7 sessions so far, and our last session, which is the 8th session, will be happening on Friday. So we'll be discussing more on how the project will go. Please do your project, and your project will only last for 1 week. You only have 1 week to do your project. I will tell you how you are to submit the project, and we'll give any other necessary information. Please, if you have questions, kindly signify. If there is something that is confusing, either from this session or from previous sessions, please, this is your time to ask your question. Okay, if there are no questions, I assume everyone understands. Please engage the chat. You can also post your questions there and it will be attended to. Within now and tomorrow, this session should be available on our YouTube page. You can go there and rewatch it. And if you missed any of the previous sessions, you also find the recordings on our YouTube page. And also, if you are here to subscribe, please do well to subscribe on our YouTube channel, like and share the page, and make sure you turn on the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we post a new content. Without any further ado, see you in our next class. Bye for now.